Hello you guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. And in today's video, as you guys have already seen by the title, I'm going to be doing like the boiling crab imitation, like seafood in a bag or shrimp in a bag. And I'm going to go ahead and jump in and get started and show you guys my ingredients that I'm using. For the seasonings, I'm using the Old Bay seasoning. I'm using paprika, cayenne pepper, lemon pepper seasoning, and the Cajun seasoning. Next, what we are going to be using is 3 heads of garlic. I already peeled them. They are ready to go, ready to be minced. You can also buy the fresh garlic at the store that's already peeled for you. You can just go ahead and chop it up and get about this amount of garlic. I'm going to be using corn on the cob. This was the frozen kind. Honestly, I did not find any of the fresh kind, but you can also use that one. It's just up to your preference. I'm going to be using some lime. I can't remember the exact measurements on how much lime, so I just got like all of these here. I'm going to be using 4 sticks of butter. This is the salted butter because I like it a little bit salty. I'm going to be using the Cajun style andouille sausage, I believe that's how you say it. I have 2 packs of these. You will need some brown sugar. I have the oven bags. This is what's going to bring the boil in the bag, kind of like boiling crab. I have right here some potatoes. These are red potatoes. They're not that small, not that big, but I'm going to cut them in half. And then I have like the baby potatoes here, which you can put all of this in the bag together. And finally, I have here 4 pounds of shrimp. This is shrimp that's just kind of sitting in water. It's ready to go. It's sitting in cold water. But if you can get fresh shrimp, it's obviously better. This is just what I had, so I went ahead and worked with it. And then just to show you here, my hands are clean, but this is like the jumbo shrimp. And there's different sizes. Preferably, I like to get the jumbo size because by the time you cook it, it does shrink a little bit. You have to remember that. Not to mention, my mom did have some lobster tails in the fridge, which she wanted to add them to her boil. So she is currently thawing them out. And of course, they're the frozen kind too, but we're going to make it work. And I forgot to mention here that I have some boiling water. It's basically in one of these. It's not too big, not too small. This is where we're going to be cooking the corn, the potatoes, and then obviously just dipping the shrimp through just to get them slightly cooked before we put them into the sauce. But you do need water, so this is already boiling. Okay, so I'm going to be going in first with my Cajun seasoning, and I have this measuring spoon right here. It's 1 tablespoon. You want to get 2 tablespoons of each ingredient, but the only one you want to be careful with is the cayenne pepper. I'm only going to do like 1 tablespoon of this because I don't want it to be that spicy. But other than that, all these other 4 spices here, you want to go ahead and do 2 except. So I'm going to go ahead and pour 1 and 2. Okay, now that we do have all the seasonings mixed in here, I have my pan on the stove already. Obviously, it's heating up. Next, I'm going to take my 3 heads of garlic and I'm going to be mincing them as finely as I can because this is also going to go into the sauce. We're making the sauce first. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and mince this garlic. I'm just going to place it all onto my chopping board here and we're just going to start mincing. Now that I have this on medium heat, I'm going to go ahead and start putting my sticks of butter in there because I do want it to get melted completely by when I finish mincing the garlic. Since I'm not quite done yet doing that, I'm going to go ahead and put it in here. So if you're on a diet, I don't recommend you doing this recipe just because it's not a healthy recipe. Okay, so now that our water is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and put in our potatoes because they will take the longest to cook as of right now. I'm going to be cutting these in half just so they can cook faster. And then the smaller yellow potato, I'm going to go ahead and put it in full. Okay, now with our butter, it's basically already done. I'm going to go ahead and add the minced garlic to this. That way it can just kind of soften down. And then I'll add the spices. And then you do want to turn it down just so the butter doesn't burn. As you guys can see, it's just sauteing a little bit, kind of just cooking through, softening down, and then I will add my seasonings here in a minute. What we can go ahead and start doing as we wait for the other stuff to cook, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and start chopping down the sausage. I really don't like sausage in mine, but I know my mom and my husband do, and the way that I'm gonna be cutting them is just kind of like sideways like this, just in little slices, I guess you say. So basically this is how the sausage comes out to. It just, you know, same, you can cut it any way you want. I'm just kind of cutting it in little rounds sideways like this. And then I will be actually frying it just a little bit on a pan. I don't really like to boil this because it just doesn't give it that nice flavor texture that we like. So I'm gonna go ahead and saute this once I have room on the stove. Okay, now that it looks like our garlic is cooked through here, I'm gonna go ahead and add the dry ingredients to the sauce. And I'm adding them now. And just kind of gonna mix in. And this is a sauce that's gonna coat basically everything that you put in a bag. I'm gonna put this down just to a low simmer. Okay, I brought you guys around my stove a little bit because as you guys can see, my mom's doing something. I have these two occupied. Now I have this last burner. It's just kind of like a little skillet, and I'm gonna start doing the sausage back here. And I'm just gonna be putting it down. Not trying to use a lot of oil since we already have a lot of butter over here. But if we need a little bit of oil, I'll add a little bit. Okay, as you guys can see, my sauce is almost done. Remember how I mentioned that brown sugar? We are going to add just 1 tablespoon of that. It's a little bit more, but that's fine. And that's just basically to thicken up the sauce and to like finish it off. And then once it's thick enough and to your liking, you can just turn it off and then set it to the side. Once your seafood is ready, you will just put it on top. Now I'm gonna go ahead and check the potatoes. Just kind of see, they're getting softer. So I'm gonna go ahead and add now the corn into the pot here, just so it can cook as well. So these are the corns. And I'm gonna put all corn, there's 8 of these, so I'm gonna go ahead and put all them in. Now I'm gonna go ahead and let them just cook, and the potatoes are almost done. And then I will start putting the tray together and showing you guys everything else. Now that these sausages are done, I'm gonna go ahead and take them out and put them into this aluminum tray. Everything that's being done, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in there, and at the end create the bags and put the sauce and everything together. Okay, so the corn seems to be done. So with another tray, we are gonna go ahead and start taking it out. And we're also gonna go ahead and start taking the potatoes out because they look to be done now as well. So we decided to take out the half potatoes because they seem to be falling apart already. So we're gonna go ahead and take those out, as you guys can see. And we're gonna leave like the full on ones in there. Okay, so I do have a pan here. As you guys can see, I already took the potatoes, the corn, and the sausage off the stove already because they are done and they are on trays to the side of me. With this pan, I'm gonna go ahead and start pan searing the shrimp just to kind of cook them through because obviously they're raw. And then I'm gonna slowly start adding the sauce, a little bit of the sauce to it. Just to let you guys know, there's different methods that you guys can cook the shrimp. You guys can obviously boil them and then toss them in the sauce and the potatoes and everything. Or you guys can pan sear them, or you guys can have the sauce cooking and add the shrimp at the same time. I mean, there's just different methods, but this is the way that I like to do it. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab just a little bit right here. And I'm gonna start adding the shrimp to my pan. Like I said, it's gonna pan sear the shrimp. It's gonna like make them really good. You don't need to season them or anything because we are going to be adding the sauce. As you guys see, this is like the beautiful color we're looking for. If you were to boil them or however you were to do them, as long as they turn pink or orange or whatever color that is, they would be considered done. And it's gonna cook within its own steam and its own liquids. Okay, you guys, here's an update on the shrimp. Like I said, you're basically still kind of like cooking them through because the shrimp release its own water and juice and it kind of cooks in there. So this is how they are right now. You don't want to overcook them for too long because then they'll get too hard and rubbery. But I'm just going to let them cook a little bit longer and let the water dry out a little bit. And then we will start creating our bags. You guys, as you guys can see, I already have my shrimp already done, my sausage. And then over there, I had some shrimp sausage and a little bit of sauce. This is the way we're doing it. This is my husband. He's fixing up his little bag. Some of the potatoes over there looked ugly. They fell apart, but it's okay. They're still eatable. So he's basically putting his bag together. And then as you guys can see, we have some limes right here as well. So yes, you guys, this is basically the finished product. The sauce is over there. Yes, you could have already had dumped it on the sauce, but we like to put it on afterwards. And yep, this is the way we do it. It's supposed to be a little bit and then you're supposed to shake it up. So there he is putting his sauce in there. And then next thing we do is just grab that bag. And shake it up. While everything is still hot, of course, you don't want anything cold and then mix it with the sauce. You want it hot so the sauce can stick to your seafood or whatever you're gonna have in the bag. And there you go. That's how we do it, you guys. Enjoy.